air and via all Igniting Change with Barbara Arnwine platforms by host Barbara Arnwine Esquire. Guests and supporters are their own and are independent of any organization, entity. Nothing said on the show or any of its platforms constitutes a client-attorney relationship or serves as legal advice, counsel. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to Igniting Change, its platforms, or the show's host. It's time now for Igniting Change, a weekly provocative and empowering program where you, the listener, can ignite change. Now here's your host, Barbara Arnwine.
Get up, stand up.
Hey,
Stand up
everyone.
for your
Hi. Welcome to Igniting Change. Oh, we're broadcasting live from Chicago. We're here, Daryl Jones and I, at the National Bar Association Annual Convention. It is the National Bar's 100th anniversary. It is their centennial, and we are so glad to be here. We've been parts of a lot of programs, talking about what's going on with the law, the challenges to the rule of law, what the Supreme Court has done this last term, and we've been just talking about and planning, strategizing for how we respond to this era. So with that said, it is my pleasure to bring up my mighty co-host. He's one of the nation's most influential, most dynamic, important lawyers. He just, gave a brilliant presentation on the new, stayed by the Supreme Court of the Eighth Circuit's opinion in the Turtle Mountain case, which is all about, do you have a private right of action if you're injured by racial discrimination in voting? Can you bring a case, or is the only person who can bring that case the Department of Justice, which has been doing nothing? So he gave a wonderful presentation about it and about the spread of that doctrine. So it was just such a good one, and we're so glad that he's here. He is chair of our board. He is one of the advisors to the mighty Maryland Caucus of Black of blacks in government. He's just amazing. He does so many great things. It is my pleasure to welcome none other than my co-leader of the Transformative Justice Coalition, Daryl D. Jones. Hey, Daryl.
Hey, Barbara, it must be Tuesday. It must be noon Eastern Standard Time, although we're in Central Time, because we're talking about igniting change. Barbara, my goodness, this National Bar Association conference has just been incredible. And the panel that we just finished and dealing with the Supreme Court review was just great. Your presentation with regards to, you gave them a history lesson about citizenship and birthright citizenship in the United States and brought it up to current and talking about the current executive order. So just a wonderful, and the COPSA case, just a wonderful presentation that was done. It's been so incredibly powerful being here for the 100th anniversary of the National Bar Association. And I tell you, Barbara, last night, or yesterday, I should say, did Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson not kick it off? My goodness, her presentation was just powerful.
It was beautiful, and people, made us realize that when we fight, we win, because, we fought to get her into that office. We made sure we got out there and voted so that she would that there would be a president that we could beseech and work with to get her into office. We are so proud of her. And there's some kind of bad noise in the background. But let us continue. So at this point, I want to see if Attorney Solomon-Simmons has joined us.
I'm here.
Hey, Damario!
Hello.
Hey, Oh, my goodness. We are so glad you're here. Everybody, if you hear the joy in my voice, know it's because we've been trying to get him on our show for a while, but he's been doing the work of God. I mean, really, in fighting for the amazing, survivors of the Tulsa Massacre and for the Greenwood community. And he's had amazing impact, but this has been, how many years has it been, Damario?
It's been 25 years, 25 plus long years of opposition, odds, obstacles, no roadblocks, but we've persevered and got some victories, and I'm excited to be on with you, Barbara, and Daryl. You guys have been supporting us, and every time I said, Barbara, can you come down and just sit in the courtroom with me, just having you there to support, I look up, and there she is, so I'm excited. I'm coming I'm here at the Grand Hyatt, the National Bar. Found me a little quiet corner so I can jump on the call.
Oh, thank you. You're amazing, and we just appreciate you stepping out of your session in order to join us today. People, you should know that in addition to his law practice, Damario Solomon-Simmons is a nationally sought-after speaker and social commentator on civil rights, the business of sports, and public policy issues. He is co-founder of the MVP Foundation, but he is also the lead counsel, as I just mentioned, in the Tulsa case, but he's also the lead counsel in this fight to get Black Native Americans their full rights that they are entitled to under the treaty agreements. So there's a whole lot to be said. First of all, Damario, can you bring our audience up to date about what's happening in Tulsa? There's been some great developments with your new mayor.
Absolutely. Our new mayor, Mayor Monroe Nichols IV, who was the first African-American mayor in the city of Tulsa. We got him elected back in November, and then we started working together on many, many issues. And on June 1st, of this year, about 47 days ago, he announced a $105 million private trust that will benefit the survivors and descendants of the Tulsa Race Massacre. We are so excited about that. I'm going to say that again, a $105 million trust to benefit the survivors and descendants of the Tulsa Race Massacre. We didn't get everything that we asked for, but for 104 years, we got zero. And now we are moving progress. In addition to the financial resources, he also granted our demand for a citywide holiday each year on June 1st to recognize and remember the Tulsa Race Massacre. It's called the Tulsa Race Massacre Remembrance Day. In addition, he released over 45,000 documents related to the massacre that was held by the city of Tulsa. And he's made additional commitments to continue to work on other initiatives that we want to push forward. So we are excited about how this is going to work. We're going to work with him to make sure this is set up correctly, and most importantly, that the funds and the resources and the support and benefits get to the rightful survivors and descendants.
Wow.
And Damario, it's been incredible, but Damario, could you just sort of share? You said that, he is now the first African-American mayor of Tulsa.
Right.
Could other mayors have done what he did? And if they could, why didn't they?
Well, of course, other mayors could have done what they did. And, for 104 years, every mayor said no. Every mayor was against reparations. Every mayor was not trying to do what the right thing to do. And I believe that Mayor Monroe Nichols, he is a good brother. He is someone that's willing to listen. We don't agree on everything. He doesn't give me everything that I want. But the thing about it is the open door policy where we can sit down and we can come to some type of resolution. And like I tell him, I'm going to still push you on these other issues, but I got to give him props and thanks when he does the right thing.
That is so awesome. And I just think that, people are so fascinated with Black Wall Street. That was Tulsa. That's why they destroyed it, from that economic envy and hatred of Black progress. But I just want to thank you, because when the courts wouldn't give us what we needed, you got it the other way, right? The political, the in the streets, the public education, the public agitation, and using our political voting power. Thank you so much for your genius and the work that you've done for Mother Fletcher and for Mother Randall and for all of the descendants and the survivors of the Tulsa Massacre. Now, I want to open up another front here, because there is a tremendous unknown history regarding Black Native Americans and their fight for full official recognition and equal treatment under U.S. treaties by various First Nations, including the Cherokee. Please tell our audience about your recent victory last week. I was so glad to see it.
Yes, it's a big deal, and we're very excited. We talked about Black Wall Street and Greenwood, but a lot of people don't understand that the co-founders of Black Wall Street and Greenwood were Black Creeks, Black Cherokees, and other Black Indians in Oklahoma. People don't realize that the Oklahoma was Indian territory before it became the state of Oklahoma in 1907, and 40% of those people were Black people. Many of them have been enslaved by those same nations, the Creeks, the Cherokee, the Chickasaw, the Seminoles, and the Choctaws, but many were free. And so the Treaty of 1866 within the Creek Nation ended enslavement. So we celebrate Juneteenth, and we say Juneteenth is the end of enslavement in the United States, but that's not true, because enslavement didn't end within the Creek Nation until June 14th, 1866. And that treaty was signed and negotiated by 5 individuals, including my four-time great-grandfather, Cal Tom. And Article 2 of the Treaty of 1866 is the equivalent to the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments of the United States Constitution. But in 1979, the Creek Nation stated on paper that it was too many blacks, too many freedmen, as they called us, and therefore they changed their Constitution. They restricted our citizenship, and they kicked us out. Barbara and Daryl, when I was born in 1976, I was a full Creek citizen, but they took my citizenship in 1979. And it's been a 46-year fight. I got involved in it in 1999, and I've been working on that issue since 1999. And last week, the Supreme Court of the Muscogee Creek Nation decided unanimously, 5-0, that we are indeed Creek. We are indeed entitled to citizenship, and we are indeed entitled to all benefits that come with being a citizen of an United States federally recognized tribe.
Wow. And how many people will be affected by this decision?
We estimate between 75 and 100,000 black people across this country will be impacted. They will have access to health care. They will have access to education benefits. They will have access to employment preferences. They have access to child care. They have access to stipends. The Creek Nation received about $2 billion during COVID from the United States government, and they gave each citizen $4,000 cash, and yet the Black Creeks didn't receive a penny. This is what we're talking about, Barbara. We're talking about life-sustaining, life-altering resources and benefits that our people have been denied for over 46 years, that this lawsuit will open that up.
Wow. And what does this mean for other First Nations, for Black Native Americans who are part of other First Nations? This is what's going to happen. What do you see happening for other nations?
Well, specifically to the 5 tribes of Oklahoma, which are the Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, Creek, and Seminole. These are the tribes that have specific treaties with the United States because they were slave-holding tribes. They enslaved black people, and they sided with the Confederacy during the Civil War. And so when they lost, they had to do these treaties. Each of those 5 nations have these treaties of 1866. Only one of those nations are actually fully complying with that treaty as of last week, and that was the Cherokee Nation. The Seminole Nation, they allowed their black members, but they don't have all of their rights and benefits. So now that the creeks are going to come online, we're going to fight to make sure we get all our rights and benefits. And then we're going to go and for the Choctaws and the Chickasaws, because our brothers and sisters of those nations who were enslaved built those nations, and they deserve full recognition and full benefits.
Wow. Wow. Well, I think it's just, this is something I know people have been working on for just years. And I love your persistence. You have been persistent. Everybody, did you hear that? Persistently working on the Tulsa case for over 25 years.